Good morning, everyone. I am sitting here asking myself, okay, is today a good day to invoke the what the fuck parrot or to invoke the eye roller? Yes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. Oh, dear. This is the place where we take a look at the news, the headlines, and we try to share them in the most responsible, level-headed manner. But I tell you, some days one really does have to wonder. Yes, this is Coffee and Headlines. Headlines from our city, our state, and our country. This is Coffee and Headlines, where we take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions, and we try to combine all this information into a nice little serving of good vibes and ways to connect with our destination, our city, Puerto Vallarta. As a community of English-speaking locals, it is a pleasure to get together with you every day, that we get together Monday through Saturday, and today, Tuesday. Tuesday the 24th is no exception. As always, we want to welcome those of you that are joining us for the first time. To let us know that you are new, write the word new in your comment and we'll give you a nice little welcome. And if you are new, and if you have something really important that you wish to share with us during the broadcast, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q to your question or comment. That way we'll be looking for those during the second half of the broadcast. Today we have, well, I'm still not sure whether we're going to eye roll or whether we're going to invoke the parrot, but there's a little bit of everything. Let's get started. Okay, we start with some good news. Restaurant owner Fernando Pineda, who was reported as missing over the weekend, has been found safe and sound, and no details have been offered. End of discussion. Now, I don't want to minimize the stress and the horribleness of disappearing, but I always find it amusing in these situations on how if someone disappears, the family usually calls a press conference and announces the disappearance, making it everybody's business. And then when the disappearance gets solved, they have nothing else to say. So why make it everybody's business when you are not going to explain to everybody what happened? But that is the way things go around here. United States Ambassador Ken Salazar, seen here showing off another hat from his extensive collection, met with Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador at the Palacio Nacional in Mexico City when questioned he was questioned about whether his visit to López Obrador had to do with the upcoming America Summit. He answered, "I'm here for other business." You think? Esteban Moctezuma Barragan, who is Mexico's ambassador to the United States in Washington, D.C., was also spotted entering the Palacio Nacional a few minutes earlier. Now, we know that López Obrador is still waffling about attending the summit, but is he waffling or is he posturing? Yesterday, in his morning press conference, our president said, and I quote, "Let Los Angeles become a worldwide site for dialogue and fraternity to send a message to the world about the importance of dialogue and to put aside our differences." But of course, he has not made up his mind. He says that he's going to make up his mind this week about whether he's attending or not attending. We are reminded, in case you're not following this saga, that Mexico President López Obrador has said if all countries in Latin America are not invited, or if any countries in Latin America are excluded from the summit, I will not be attending. So it remains to be seen whether he'll attend or not, and we will never know if Ambassador Salazar was at Palacio Nacional to conduct other business, or if he was just, as we say in Spanish, dorando la píldora, or never mind. I know I'm obsessing about this. I can't help it. Moving right along, when it comes to the damages caused by Hurricane Nora last year, there have been quite a few positive things to report about our city's recovery in areas surrounding the Cuale River, and also of the preparations that our municipality is putting into place to prevent these types of catastrophes from happening again. But the city seems to have forgotten about El Remance, where recent photographs show that nothing has been done in this side of the river to bring the neighborhood back to safety. Take a look. This is the first photograph where we see that some of the sidewalk is still missing in areas of El Remance, and in other parts there is like not even a sidewalk there, making it a little adventurous for anybody to drive through or walk through. Let us just hope that the city will find it in its schedule to take a look at this neighborhood and fix it, because this is not something that I would be very happy about. Moving right along, I want to follow up on something that we reported yesterday. Yesterday, we reported on the city bus company making a prideful announcement that city buses will soon offer free Wi-Fi. And yesterday, we wondered, why bother? Tribuna de la Bahía took it to themselves to conduct an informal survey with locals and their opinion about this so-called improvement, and the responses were as expected. Locals want more buses, not Wi-Fi in the buses that we have. If I can add to that, we want more buses with air conditioning systems because it's hot. How hot is it? Well, let's take a look at the weather. That cloud looks like Kirk and Spock making out. I would love to see that cloud if I could. It is 26 degrees right now, feels like 27. Humidity is at 51%, not as bad as yesterday, but still it feels schwitzy. Our Fahrenheit temperature is 79 degrees for all of you Fahrenheit devotees, and our weather forecast for this Tuesday, is clear through the day with a high of 31, low of 21. Tomorrow, Wednesday, another clear day with a high of 32 and a low of 22. And Thursday, mostly cloudy through the day with a high of 32 and a low of 23. Now, could a tropical storm be right around the corner? Maybe, maybe not. But the nice folks at Meteomex, which is one of the national forecasting agencies, they put a post on Facebook claiming that there is a 40% chance that we will see our very first tropical storm in a matter of 5 days. And there we see it. And let's have a look with our friend Windy. Hello, Windy, windy.com. We haven't invoked Windy in quite some time, but here it is. And as you can see, there is this chingadera that's forming south of Puerto Vallarta. We're all the way over here, so we have nothing to worry about yet. But Could the first tropical storm be around the corner or arriving in a matter of days? Could be, maybe not, but this is that time of the year where we start paying attention to these things. And we will, of course, as always, keep you posted of any development. Now, here's a brand new reason to schedule a visit to Arte Vallarta Museo. Local urban muralist Tony Collantes has, let me see if I can, there you go, I have him big in the image. He has donated his talent to paint this gorgeous mural outside the property to pay tribute to local visual artist Marta Gilbert. Arte Vallarta Museum is a relatively new cultural space that showcases the works of many local artists along with a few emerging ones. They are constantly hosting new events, so I recommend you like their Facebook page to be in the loop. I know that they're going to have some kind of fashion shindig, I believe, tonight, a gay pride-related fashion shindig. So if you have some feathers or something fabulous to wear, this might be something for you to consider doing. Now, we think we have problems here in Puerto Vallarta with our red tide and our green tide and our issues with the ocean. Well, we are in heaven when you consider what's going on elsewhere in the country. I'm going to show you some photos from Xcaret, the popular amusement park and beachfront tourist destination in Quintana Roo. Now, what do you see? All that brown stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is a bay covered in seaweed. Yes, that is a shitload of seaweed that is covering the ocean in Quintana Roo. I'm sure it doesn't look like the advertising pictures. That is supposed to look gorgeous blue and very attractive. So, and it is expected to get worse in weeks to come. So if you're elsewhere, if you're not in Puerto Vallarta and have been considering a return to Mexico, but have been waffling between Puerto Vallarta and the Mexican Caribbean coast, you may want to think again whether you want to choose green tide and red tide versus seaweed, unending seaweed. I tell you, I think I'd rather stay home. Let's see what else we have. Yes, I spotted this event on Facebook called Step into Freedom from Stress and Anxiety. And of course, being a stressed out, anxious person, I had to dig in, and I did. This must be important because it says step into freedom from stress and anxiety, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And then I started reading, and look at what I found. Hi, do you struggle with worries, insomnia, fears, depression, shakes, panic, heart racing, anger, body pain, and more? Question mark, question mark. And it just goes on, and this promises learning why you have one or more of the 7 kinds of genetic disorder with more exclamation marks. All I'm seeing is a lot of text in all caps. And then it says when it's going to be next Thursday, 26th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., offered by a certified holistic COG BHAV. Now, I have nothing against a certified holistic COG BHAV. Oh, and the location is to be announced. And the suggested donation is only 350 pesos. Value 125 pesos. I don't quite understand that part. And then there's a little bit of text at the end that says Q&A 30 minutes after presentation, and it's not written in all caps. Now, why am I feeling more stressed reading this than I was feeling before? It's because of the all caps and the excessive use of exclamation marks and the couple of acronyms here and there. Now, we know that all caps can be used for emphasis and short strings, but studies have been conducted on the readability of all caps, indicating that all caps text is less legible and readable than lowercase text. Furthermore, switching to all caps is considered obnoxious and an indication that the speaker is shouting or exhibiting argumentative behaviors. And this predates the use of computing. In April of 1856, South Carolina's Yorkville Enquirer used the expression. This time he shouted it out in capital letters. And in an article posted by the Standard Speaker in 1880, the Standard Speaker and Elocutionist, they had a section titled Shouting Style, indicating that all caps are seldom needed throughout an entire body of text. So I have no reason to doubt the ability of this certified holistic cog BHAV. And I wish you, Kay Nash, a lot of success with your workshop. But girl, I think you may want to consider the all caps if you're trying to step people into freedom from stress and anxiety. I do think your workshop will be a lot more well received. And that's just me. That's my little mini rant. And I have nothing against this gal. I really, really hope she does well. But really, get rid of the all caps, lady. I think it'll make you more successful. And this brings me to our comment section, just to see what you are thinking about and knowing about and talking about. So let's take a quick look. Good mornings abound, as always, and I'm always grateful for those. Thank you so very much for your good mornings in low caps. Good mornings in all caps would be good morning. Anyhow, let's see what we have. Many, many, many good mornings. I love it. I love it. Oh my God, I went to see the Multiverse movie yesterday with Doctor Strange. It was so confusing, but it was fabulously wonderful. I mean, who comes up with that stuff? Let me tell you. Let's see. Greetings from Albuquerque. I love it. Greetings from Minneapolis. Question: how is Luna? We haven't seen her for a while now. Kate, let me tell you, she is amazing, and she gets more amazing every single day. She's not sitting here right now. She's in bed doing her usual routine. See, the bedroom is all the way over there. And whenever I get up, because the kitchen's over there and the bathroom's over there, I always pass by the bedroom. And every time I pass by the bedroom and she hears me, she raises her head from the bed and she goes, meow, as if saying, hey, stop ranting about all caps and come spend some cuddle time with me. She is a wonderful little kitty. Let's see what else we have. Sherry comments, is bus improvement with Wi-Fi really going to be available like the AC that is supposed to be available on buses and almost never is? Who knows? I mean, seriously, we have no idea. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sally Smith reports, and we still have no bus service in Benito Juarez, El Remance, since the damage to the road last August. So again, it is unfortunate that the city's list of priorities has not included El Remance. Let us hope that that tide turns and brings some much needed improvements to the area. Yes, Marie, I am totally with you. Never mind free Wi-Fi in buses. How about they turn on the air conditioning at least through the summer? That is my hope as well. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Of course, the guy that owns the company announced that they were going to do the Wi-Fi because it doesn't cost him any money. Of course, I am sure that running the air conditioning or actually putting into service the actual number of buses they're supposed to be running, that is expensive. But what do I know? Let's see what else. Oh my gosh, your reaction to the seaweed is quite understandable. I tell you. I'd like to warn people about who you become friends with. Don't let them into your life because it can cause a lot of stress and totally drain you, especially if you are a generous and giving person. Laura, I can totally relate. And I will actually add, if I may, that since we started doing Coffee and Headlines, a lot of people send me personal Facebook friend requests, and I decline them all because for me, and please don't take this as a sign of offense, for me, a Facebook friend is no different than a real life friend. I gladly friend people with whom I've had the opportunity to exchange words in the real world at least once or twice. And I totally appreciate what you're saying. Befriending anyone is probably not the best of ideas. Lucina asks, how is the bridge over the river from Matamoros to the island down by the Mercado? Um, it's still being constructed. If that's the one that's right next to the Mercado, it's still being built. It's not finished. We talked about this just a few days ago. Bill says, all caps stresses me out. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that because I thought it was only me. Scott calls it a scam. If you're referring to this, I don't think it is a scam. I just think it's someone who didn't know any better. And I'd like to believe that the woman that is running this workshop is legit, but I think she could help herself in a major way. And we all can help ourselves when we communicate by avoiding these all caps and avoiding the excess of exclamation marks, and all the acronyms. I mean, what on earth is a cog BHAV? I love it. Let's see what else. Oh, no worries, Laura. We got your message loud and clear, and I totally appreciate it. I know a few friends of mine that are very generous and very giving, and they have suffered the consequences of their generosity by opening their Facebook doors to many people that, in hindsight, they probably shouldn't have. But I appreciate your sentiment, and I'm very much with you. Liz says, it reads like a scam, poor text etiquette, I'd run the other way, triggers pissy ass queen mode regarding trappy links and videos on Facebook. Well, again, I give her the benefit of the doubt and I wish her much success. But I totally pushed my buttons in a funny way. Let's see. Oh, speaking of El Remance, Glee says hello from El Remance. Breeze coming from the mountains was cool this morning. That's good to hear. Of course, cool breeze is not the same thing as safe sidewalks, but we can only hope. Um, Let's see. I think this may have to do with the seaweed. It can be harvested. A health benefit breaks down kidney stones when dried, powdered, and a tablespoon a day in water. Interesting, but that's a lot of seaweed to harvest. A lot of it. Let's see. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Ooh. Who went in a rant? Did somebody go in a rant and I miss it? I don't know what that is about, Patty, but I hope nobody went on a rant. Oh, thank you very much, Michael. Kay is a beautiful person and not scamp. I appreciate that very much. But again, it's one of those things. Oh, and I was waiting for someone to say this. I think COG-BHAV is short for cognitive behavioral something, probably a therapist. Well, you know what, then? INTS. I'm not that stupid. But every time we write an acronym and we don't explain it, I think we isolate at least one person from the world that we're trying to create. So I personally, I'm very careful about my acronyms when I use them. And I have called you on acronyms in the past. I'm very well aware of that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, and thank you, Dan, for falling in my trap, into my acronym trap. I love it. I was hoping somebody would. Let's see. Oh, another one. Cognitive behavioral therapist says Kimberly. Kimberly, INTS. I'm not that stupid. Oh, thank you for letting me have fun with you. Let's see what else. Da, da, da. Uh, yes, that's regarding what Laura was saying. I don't remember what Laura was saying because, again, I am not watching your comments in actual order. Laura was saying, oh, the thing about friending people. I understand. Okay. Da, 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 da. Let's see what else. Some organizations ask for help in writing such items. They may not know as much as a journalist. Let's be kind. I don't think I'm being unkind, Marcia. If you think, do you think I'm being unkind? Because it is not my intention to be unkind. I am actually pointing out something that is very real. And in fact, I will leave you with the Wikipedia crash course on all caps. I don't think I'm being unkind. I'm actually trying to be helpful. Am I poking fun at it? Yes, I am, but I don't think I am being unkind. Let's see what else. I think we're done. I think we're done. And thank you very much for joining me in this edition of Coffee and Headlines. If you had a good time, if you learned something new, if you feel like coming back, well, you make it possible, so you know what to do. And thank you, Barbara, for thinking that I'm not being unkind. I don't think I'm being unkind. So there. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon, maybe even tomorrow between now and then. Oh, good question. What's the Guadalajara video schedule? It will happen on Saturday. Thank you for that, Bill. Saturday afternoon, we will discuss Guadalajara, and we will know everything about going to Guadalajara. I'll be so detailed, it's not even funny. What to bring, what to pack, what you put in your MERS, what to avoid, how to get around, what to consider even before you hop on the bus, how to find the restaurants for your budget, how to enjoy the city as best as possible. And this is going to happen on Saturday. I will have footage and photographs and accounts from my recent trip that I took with two dear friends, my first trip into the big city after the pandemic. And this presentation will be separate from Coffee and Headlines and will be available to supporters and members, because ultimately it is you who made it possible for me to go to Guadalajara in the first place. If you're not a member or a supporter, this is a good reason to become a member or a supporter. You know what to do. You know where to go. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.